Good evening, everyone. How are we all doing here? And welcome to round 3 of SRL F3. I hope you're all doing well. If we have a look at the standings before we get cracking with qualifying, that is the stands at the moment. Raz is on top at the moment with 50 points. He's winning the first 2 races of the season, which is incredible. Frank Efron in second with 36, Catsby in third, and then it's just a little bit closer as you go down the pile. Ari in fourth, was in tier 4 last season, doing quite well in tier 3 as well. Yuri P5, Skullface is in P6, just a point behind Yuri there. The BLBDK level on points with Skullface. Junus a fingerhook 9th and Cheap Skills 10th, and you can read the others as on your screen right there. But today we are racing at Spain, a track that some people like and some people prefer to say to Spain it's pain, because it is a difficult track. As I'm actually really glad that the screen is working, because I hadn't tested it before we got on, so that's the level of professionalism we are working with this evening, but you'll have to bear with me. I have just finished a race myself, so I'm a little bit all over the place. Good evening, George. How are you doing, mate? So we've got 14 runners today. So I think there's a couple of people not able to race and all that sort of stuff. So that's interesting, as a couple cars coming out to have their first run at qualifying. From tier 3 onwards, of course, you can have rainy weather during qualifying and the races. So it's a bit overcast at the moment. Doesn't look like we've got weather to rain at the moment, but it does look pretty cloudy. Put that away. Looks like everybody is jumping on the softs straight from the start. Doesn't look like anyone is brave enough to try on the mediums. But it is a 2-stopper around here, I would say. So maybe people are just thinking, nah, I'm not, might as well just start on the softs because we've got and do 2 medium pit stops rather than doing the soft to hard or hard to medium. But we shall wait and see. It looks like it's the Williams of Raz that's going to come across the line first to start his qualifying lap. So we will stay on board with him. I think, as he's trying to warm up his tyres. We've got yellow flags in sector 3. I wonder if Gomez in behind him, I think it is. Maybe just went wide a little bit there, but no harm done by lots of things. Why would this let me have the overview? There we go. As Raz does come around the final corner to start his lap. We'll see what the Williams can do. We'll just stay on board with him, I think, for the whole lap. So you come down into turn 1, you want to keep it as tight as possible. Raz hasn't quite keeping it so tight that it's very wide out turn 2 as well from Raz. Not the best of starts to his qualifying lap. But nevertheless, we press on as he does the purple sector 1 because he is the first car to set a sector time so far. Keeping it nice and tight to the curb there. Does the Williams, and he's just got to ride the curves a little bit there. Oh, he's losing it a little bit there. We've lost a bit of time as the rear end of the car just gets a little bit out of place. Going into that turn, it's whether how brave you want to be. I think for your first run, you might want to just be a bit easy on that, as Raz just losing it a little bit there as well. It's not been a good lap this at all from Raz. Maybe under a little bit of pressure knowing that we are watching live on the stream. As he comes around the final couple of corners here. And then I believe it's going to be Gomez next across the line, so we'll jump on board with him very quickly. And Raz, the first lap time of the day is a 1:16.3. Gomez is going to come across the line to a 1:15.5, so that's a mega improvement as Fingerhook comes across the line to start his lap. Tijo Stewart does a 1:16.2, puts himself with the P3. It's not Ari next, it's going to be NJ Devil to come across the line next. The 1:17.1 as Junus goes their second fast of 1:15.7 there. Meanwhile, Rob, it just crossed the line, but he's about to start his lap, as there's more yellow flags in sector 1 and 2. Not sure what that's for. It's really on his out lap. Ooh, having a little bit of a moment there. Meanwhile, we'll jump on board with the Mercedes of Skullface. We'll see how he gets on. More yellow flags being reported in every single part of the track. So that's not what you want to see. The Skullface keeps it nice and tidy there. Chip Skills will stay out of his way very nicely. And oh, he just turned in a little too early and he's invalidated his lap, which is a shame for him. Meanwhile, is it Thinghook that's the next go across line next? No, I think it's going to be Gomez actually. Or is it Thinghook? I think it is Thinghook actually. So we'll jump up and go over him. He comes across the line as well. And Fingerhook is going to set a 116.1. So Gomez is 115.5, yet to be beaten so far during this qualifying session. We'll jump aboard with Catsby next, I think. As Quaker Oat, I don't know what he's doing here, but he's completely ruined Catsby's lap, completely. And what is Quaker Oat doing? And he gets a 5-place grid penalty for that collision. But that is going to be no comfort to Catsby. That was stupid. He's weaving around. He's not looking at all where he's going. And people might think it'll be a bit harsh there, but that is really silly. That you know a car's coming there as Rob comes across line to 130.1. And I really do feel for Catsby there. That's ridiculous. Meanwhile, the other mark of LookMy_Bo, I'm just going to call you LookMy, comes across the line at the 116.6. He's put himself up into P6. So I think that is the first run of qualifying from the drivers. Gomez is 115.5 at the time to beat. Just in behind him, 2 tenths behind him or so, is Junis in the Ferrari, I think it is, or Alfa Romeo, but it's one of them. I think it's a Ferrari, yeah. I think Hook coming in as well into the pits. Meanwhile, Chip Skills just starting a lap again here. See what he can do, currently in P9 for 133.1. He'll definitely be improving on that, hopefully. As we have more incidents happening. Meanwhile, LookMy has gone straight back out after that lap. He's going to go into the pits actually, so I think he's just ran out of fuel at the end there. Cheap Skills retires from the session, not great qualifying for him. He's definitely going to be outside the top 10 with that 133.1. So we'll be hoping that he has better race pace, as somebody darting right out of the way to see Catsby. Maybe they saw what happened to him previously and thought, I don't want to give him any more heartaches, which is nice of him. Meanwhile, Yuri hasn't set a lap time yet. I don't think he's setting a lap at the moment. He's just warming up his tyres, getting ready to go in the next run. NJ Devil, let's see how he's doing. His fastest are 117.1 so far in the Ferrari. He'll be hoping to improve on that. He'll have to improve quite significantly if he wants to be challenging the likes of Junis and Gomez for those top positions. But he does go purple sector 1, does NJ Devil. So it's not a bad way to start your lap, is it? At all. Nice wee run, running into sector 2 here now. Want to keep it as close to the car as possible, not lose too much time now. How brave is he coming into here? Just lifts off a little bit there. Pretty sensible, in my opinion, there from NJ Devil. He will cost a bit of time. In fact, he's done a purple sector 2 there, so this is looking very good from NJ Devil. We know how fast he is. We know he can set a good lap, and he's showing it here. It's definitely going to be better than this 117.1. And he just needs to navigate these last couple of corners. Does the Ferrari driver. Keeping it nice and tidy. NJ Devil comes across the line. What time is it going to be? It's going to be a 1:16.9, and he's actually going to stay P7. So he does improve quite a lot, but not enough to get himself up. Unfortunately for him. Meanwhile, Catsby, one of 3 drivers still running, who has not set a lap time yet. As Junis, excuse me, in the Alfa Romeo goes provisional pole for 1:15.3. Brilliant lap from him. As Gomez actually went a little bit quicker then as well. Does a 1:15.4, but not quick enough. It's not good enough to hold on to the provisional pole. Meanwhile, TJ Stewart's on a 1:15.8 as well, to P3. But Catsby, this is looking good. This actually from Catsby. It's a 1:16.1, so he's up to P6, just behind his teammate by about 0.02 of a second. That is so close, isn't it, between the two? Gomez just set that lap, so I don't think he'll be setting another one just now. Meanwhile, Skullface, we're hoping not to invalidate his lap this time. We'll stay on board with him for now, I think. As he enters sector 2 now. Oh, just losing the back end a little bit there, going that corner, that will cost him a lot of time. Keeps it nice and tidy. I wonder if he's going to set his lap or is he going to jump straight in. We'll wait and see. We might as well just set the lap, to be honest. Still got plenty of time. I wonder if he'll go again as well. Maybe he'll put enough fuel in the car to have another run. And he is going to set the time as he comes around the final corner. And for Skullface, it's going to be a 1:16.7. So just behind his teammate, puts him into P8 that time. As there's a racing point just in behind him. Started their lap. Meanwhile, Rob coming around the final corner. He's definitely going to improve on that 1:30.1. And Rob is going to come across the line to 1:16.4, so leapfrogs both Mercedes with that lap time. So good stuff from Rob. So we've got about 6 minutes left of 6.5 minutes left of qualifying to go. As Lutmai has retired from the session. It looks like he's lost the car in sector 2. If you look at the map there, I think Yuri just about to get to it, so we'll have a look and see where he's put the car. Oh, that's a shame for Lutmai. As Yuri has just invalidated his lap time as well. So at the moment, nobody's setting a lap at the moment. Top 3 still. Top 4, in fact, top 6, I should say, all in the pits at the moment. Yuri will be joining them in just a second or so. Ari's on an outlap, as is Quaker O. Which one of them is further on? I think it's Ari. Is it? No. No, it's not Ari. I'm being an idiot. It's Quaker. It's Quaker by a mile. Apologise, guys. Both these guys outside the top 10 at the moment. As Quaker, ooh. As he's warming up his tyres. Luckily he was going so slow, he could have lost the car and put it in the barrier then. He's got to be so careful when you're warming up the tyres going at a low speed like that. And Quaker Oats, tyres are nice and warm as he comes around the final corner to start his qualifying lap. We'll see what the Red Bull driver can do just outside the top 10, as I said. He'll want to improve by quite a bit to get himself a few more places up the grid. As we enter the last 5 minutes of short qualifying here in SRL Tier 3 here at Spain. So far, Junis is 1:15.3. Is the provisional pole time at the moment. Although Gomez so close behind him, less than a 10th behind. And so I think we're going to have a fascinating battle for that pole position, as I break it out as invalidated his lap, unfortunately, and that'll put an end to that. So we'll watch Ari instead. Ari Gustavo, who I did race in Tier 4, had some great results, a great good driver. If he sees an opportunity, he definitely goes for it, as I learned in Singapore. but a fair driver as well. So let's see what he can do on this lap. This is the outside sector 3, so someone else has lost it here. I'm not sure who it is. Nothing's looking to affect Ari. He gets a nice run going into the final couple of corners. So vital not to lose too much time here. Losing the back end of the car. Ari doesn't do that though. He keeps it nice and tidy. Keeps it close to the curb. And he gets on to start finish straight. And for Ari Gustavo, it's a 117 flat almost. It keeps him in P11 unfortunately. So not quick enough to improve on that occasion. I mean, well, Catsby on a slap on sector 2. I think we will jump on board with Catsby, and we will. He's a couple of temps up on his previous best at the moment, Catsby. He seems to be having a much better time at qualifying than he did at the start. So Catsby round the final couple of corners. Ooh, a little bit slow coming out of the second to last one, but he comes on to start finish straight. Does Catsby? It's very quick. This. It's a 115.7. He's up into P3. Knocks TJ Stewart down to P4, as he's embodied his lap as well. So I wonder if he's going to be able to jump into the pit, see if he's got another fresh pair of softs on. As NJ Devils got himself disqualified from qualifying for parking in a dangerous place. That's a mental, and he's now going to finish at the back. He's going to be starting at the back of the grid. So I wonder what happened there. With 2.5 minutes left to go of qualifying, we're on board with the racing point of Yuri. Now the only person still running not set a lap time. If he sets one, he'll definitely won't be last. Oh dear! The commentator's curse strikes again, and he just—I don't even think he's really pushing it too hard. He just lost it on the curb, and the only place he was going was in the wall. And I really do feel sorry for Yuri. He is starting on the back row of the grid, unfortunately, thanks to that crash after not setting a lap time. Meanwhile, Fingerhook did go purple sector 2. Not sure how his first sector went though. What we do know though is he's in P6 at the moment with 116.1. Another driver I raced last season, showing what he can do in higher tiers. His Fingerhook comes across the line. It's going to be quick now. It's 115.4, and he goes so close to Gomez. That's unbelievable. I think he's going to go again as well. And he's currently in P3 as his teammate comes out of the pits for his final run at qualifying. So we're getting to the business end now. Skullface on an out lap. Ari in the garage. Craig out on an out lap. He's just a couple of corners away from starting his lap, so we'll keep an eye out on him. Junis, our personal pole sitter, is still in the garage, so that's the end of his qualifying. So he'll have to hope that no one goes quick enough to beat that time. Meanwhile, Gomez though is coming around the final couple of corners. Can Gomez Jansa steal provisional pole off of Junis? He can't. It's a 115.376. It's improvement, but it's not enough. That's a shame for him. Meanwhile, TJ Stewart starting a lap. Raj is a little bit up the road from him. Who's quicker? Who's further on? I think it's Raz, is it? Yeah, it is Raz. So stay on board with him. As he comes round. He comes on to the final sector of the lap. I don't think it's been a very good lap for him. In fact, it hasn't. So we're going to jump away. TJ Stewart rallies his lap, so he's not going to improve. That's the end of his qualifying. Skullface just starting his final lap as well. Currently in P9. Let's see if he can improve at all. Ari Gustavo is not going to make it. He's at the end of his qualifying. Quaker Oak coming around the final couple of corners now. And then validates it, just turned in too early. So we're going to jump on board with Skullface, who's the only person left doing a lap. Let's see what he can do. Currently at 116.7 is his fastest time. If he can improve by a couple of tenths, he'll at least beat his teammate. But he's definitely going to start in the top 10, although it would be very hard not to finish in the top 10 because only 11 drivers who have been retired or disqualified themselves. But anyway, Skullface coming on to the final couple of corners now. Keeps it nice and tidy, keeps it off the curb for the second to last corner. And let's see what Skullface can do. I think he is going to improve. Is he going to improve enough? It's a 115.6. That's a decent improvement. Where did that put him? That put him P4. Terrific lap from Skullface at the end. Saved his best work till the end, and he takes P4. But all the applause has to go to Jonas with that 115.3. He starts on pole position. Gomez Jansa showing his class again, only just narrowly missing out on pole position. He starts P2. Fingerhook P3, good stuff from him. Skullface, as we've just seen, takes P4. Catsby is joined by TGL Stewart on the 3rd row. Raz and Rob on the 4th. Look My Bow dropped a few places at the end there. He starts P9 now. Ari Gustavo P10. And Quaker Oat takes P11. But gets a 5-place grid penalty for not getting out of Catsby's way when he was setting his first qualifying lap. And we have a rain forecast race. I don't know if that's the best way to say it. But we have a rainy race, so maybe that's the reason that nobody decided to try and qualify mediums. There was no point because they knew they were going to be on wet or intermediate tires at the start. So this does throw all the race strategy, all the practice that you'd done during the week out of the window. It is wet weather racing, which is fantastic for all of us watching because I think wet races can provide the best drama and excitement. So we'll see what happens in the race. I've got a wee notification, I think. NJ Devil, did he get back in? Yes, he did. Right, fantastic. I didn't realise that he was after a invite. Let's get everything on. Position changes can be on. Don't want that on. That can go on. So it is intermediate tyres as expected. No surprise on that front. What do I want here? We'll leave it on tyres, and we'll leave it on leader. So I'm not really sure actually what the strategy is now for intermediates. I guess can they just stop once? Can they go 14, 15 laps, whatever it is on the intermediates, and then go to the end on them, or is it going to be? It's going to dry out later on. These are all the questions that we will have answered as the race goes on, I suppose. As the drivers are on their formation laps, just getting to grips, just having a look and seeing how much grip is actually out there on the track. Hello Lars, how are you doing, mate? Lars is cheering on Gomez Jansa. What are your predictions for this race, Lars? I'm assuming you want Gomez to win. Do you think he will? Name me your top 3, and anyone else who's watching, name me your top 3 for this race. Lars says that he's good, and he's hoping for a good race. Well, that's all we want from this as well, Lars, as I can barely speak. So 14 runners on the grid for this race around Spain. I don't really know. I think Catsby, Junis and Gomez for podium. That's a pretty decent shout, to be fair, Lash. As I'm trying to get the right camera angle here, but it's not having it. Why is it showing the back grid? Show me the front. There we go. As we have 3, we have 4, we have 5 red lights. And away we go here at Spain as the AlphaTauri of Gomez didn't seem to get off the line at all there. And Junis got better, and he might lose a couple of positions here actually, as it looks like the Haas and Fingerhook's gone through, and the Skullface has made contact with him there as well. Something's happened, and it's left Gomez Llanta at the back, maybe with some damage as well. So that's a real shame for Gomez. I don't know if Skullface just didn't see him, or did he get punted himself? I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. But what is for certain is it's Gomez Llanta that's come off worse completely there. As Yuri's trying to go on the outside, maybe, of Raz. Ooh, Raz. Lovely little move there, but he had to trust that Yuri was gonna let him through there, and he did, to be fair to him. But from the race start, Junis has managed to hold on to the lead of this race. Followed by Fingerhook, then Skullface. TJ Stewart has got himself up as a P4. As Lars says, he says, what the fuck, what has just happened? Well, I'm not really sure myself, mate. As we finish the first lap, Junis of course sets the fast lap because he's out in front at the moment. Stands are messed up just a little bit here, so you have to bear with us for just a second. Lars says, I guess that is what happens in the rain. Yeah, I think so as well. TJ Stewart already picked himself up a 3-second time penalty for corner cut infringements. Well, that's a shame for him, but I'm not surprised either. TJ Stewart loves a good corner cut, in my opinion. Now I'm going to wind him up. It's been a great start from TJ Stewart. In fact, we have a look quickly at the the position changes. TJ Stewart had a great start, got himself up to P4. Skullface gained 1 at the expense of Gomez Llanta. Fingerhook had a great start, and Junis held on, but I think it was Gomez Llanta that just didn't get off the line off the start at all, which is really weird. And I think that's why he just got caught into so much trouble in the end, to be honest. But anyway, it's all about damage limitation now for Gomez Llanta, as we're on board at the moment with my bow, who's trying and get past Raz potentially, although I think he's lost a couple of attempts. In fact, we're going to leave that battle straight away because Catsby and Stewart having a good battle, and Stewart got a little bit on the curb there, lost the car a little bit, and that's left him very vulnerable to Catsby here, who's going to use the DRS to try and get past the Renault driver. But is he going to be able to get close enough to make a move? Catsby's not going to, and sensibly holds back as the rain looks to have gotten, I don't know, a little bit heavier. TJ Stewart has lost it, put it in the wall. And I just said that I think that the rain may have gotten a little bit heavier. Well, that's evidence for you, because he's just completely put it in the wall, just completely lost the car without really pushing at all. As Ari gets a 3-second time penalty as well for corner cutting. Fingerhook trying to close down Junis at the moment. We're going to leave that battle though, because it looks like Yuri is a bit close to Look My Bow, who loses the car a little bit as well. It might be a bit vulnerable to Yuri. A lot of drivers having a lot of problems finding some grip on that wet track. It does look like the rain's got a little bit slightly heavier, in my opinion, maybe. A lot of drivers getting caught up about it. No way for Yuri to get around Look My Bow there. In that instance, so he'll stay behind the Mercedes for now. But what a start to this race it's been. I guess that is what weather does. It can bring unpredictability into the races. Yuri got a terrible run out there, and that's going to allow Look My Bow to get away. So we're going to jump on board with Catsby. As Ari's retired from the race, he's lost it on the start finish straight, and it looks like something's happened between him and Yuri, because Yuri has not lost, he's not out of the race, but he's definitely got damage. So I wonder what happened at the back there. This is incredible. What is going on, guys? And that is a virtual safety car coming out now to clear away the Ari Gustavo's Ferrari, and becomes our first retirement of the race. So it'll be interesting to find out later on what actually happened between those two there. Or whether they just both lost each other and it was just a coincidence that they were both on the at the entrance to the start-finish straight. As we do go racing once again here. Catsby currently in P4. Just about half a second behind Skullface at the moment. Trying to get himself into those podium positions. That rain definitely looks like it's getting heavier. I don't know if it's just a certain part of the track it is, but drivers are really struggling for grip out there now. You can see it. As Catsby, because of the wet weather, it's not going to get so any assistance of DRS because, of course, it's been disabled. So it's all about just being able to get close enough on track and maybe using your ERS to get past. But on a track that's already quite difficult to overtake, wet weather's not going to help. But so far it's really close at the moment between the top four. Even Raz's only 1.5 seconds behind Catsby at the moment, so it's very tight for the podium positions. As Catsby just lost it a little bit on the curve there. He's lost a lot of ground on Skullface now. So we're going to jump on board with Fingerhook, who's trying to stay within a second of Junis. Who, after taking pole position, it doesn't look like he's going to lose the lead of this race anytime soon. He looks very in control, I've got to say, the Alfa Romeo. Well, having said that, not the best run out of there, if I'm being really honest, but I think it's not going to be close enough, so I think, to make a move happen on that occasion. Meanwhile, Catsby did a purple sector 3 there, showing that he's very strong towards the end of the lap, is Catsby in the Haas. But unfortunately, just because he loses so much ground to Skullface during the first two sectors, that when it comes to sector 3, although he is a lot quicker, he just isn't close enough to really make a move happen. So he needs to try and tidy up these first two sectors if he's going to put Skullface in under the pressure that he needs to make a move happen. But here we go, Catsby again. He's actually really, it's been a very good first 2 seconds of this lap actually in particular, and he has gained a lot of time on Skullface. He's got a nice run out there as well. If he can just try and stay close to Skullface going into the start-finish straight, he might be able to make a move happen. We'll have to wait and see. Catsby keeping it off the curbs. And this time it's actually Skullface that looks like he's got a much better run at the end, and that's kept Catsby at bay. So we're going to leave this battle because there's a battle for P8 at the moment, for P7 sorry, as TJ Short is gaining on Quaker Oats. But not close enough to make a move happen, and Gomez Janta's on the back of the Renault as well, so TJ Short want to get past Quaker Oats, so he's not vulnerable to Gomez. Quaker Oats gone really wide there. TJ Short got off the power to keep himself on the track, keep a good racing line, and that's meant he's got a much better run on the Red Bull driver, but it's just there's nowhere to overtake at the moment really. He's going to try and go around the outside. No, Quaker Oats defending that very nicely. But it does like TJ Shirt's got a bit more pace on the Red Bull. And looks very keen to get past. And it's a nice run, and you can see the Redos using a little bit of VRS, not all of it, just to try and get a little bit closer to Quaker. As Rob gets himself a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. Becomes the third driver to have that penalty dished out to him. TJ Stewart had to be really careful, had to connect the car there. But Quakero's not had a good run at all out there, and TJ Stewart is going to be very vulnerable to TJ Stewart now. He hasn't got a lot of VRS to attack with, but he might have enough to get past Quakero trying to break the toe. But TJ Stewart is going to go for a move here. He's going to go on. He's going to have to go on the outside, as he knows. He's going to try and get the better run as they go into turn 2. And Quakero just holds on to the position for now. Meanwhile, as I said, Gomez Jansa just quietly staying in behind these two, just waiting to see what happens. And the more that TJ Stewart and Quakero battle, the more Gomez Jansa will be thinking, I can maybe get both these guys in one move if I time it right. But it's a very good battle between these two at the moment. TJ Stewart didn't quite get as good an exit as Quakero did, and that's allowed the Red Bull just to get a little bit further away from Stewart. And we're going to jump away from this battle for now, because it looks like Catsby is getting a little bit closer to Skullface for that final podium position. As we enter lap 9, Catsby's got a good exit out of there, and he's got a lot of ERS to play with. How much does Skullface have? He's got quite a bit as well. And Catsby's going to dive towards to try and take the inside line. Is he here? No, he's going to stay in behind. Catsby's not one to lunge at someone, and maybe that's cost him a bit, because he's actually not got a good run out of those first 2 corners because of that. But he'll bide his time, and he'll recharge and potentially go again in the next lap. But someone we haven't spoken about at the moment has been our race leader Junis, who's now got about 2.5 second gap to finger hook. He's driving very, very nicely, the Alfa Romeo driver, and he's extending the gap ever so slightly as the laps go on. Meanwhile, Gomez Jansa getting closer to Stewart, and TJ Stewart still trying to get past Quaker on a track where it's difficult to overtake. Stewart is definitely learning that fact at the moment. So I'm trying to think, when the pit stop will be. Getting a couple of warnings there, maybe getting 2 warnings in 2 corners there. Gomez Jansa did not get a good run out of that particular occasion. And look, my boat is pitting, so he is the first person, other than of course Gomez Jansa potentially, to pit. And Rob gets up a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Look, my bow getting held up in the pit, where we had a penalty to serve potentially. He might have done actually. And he is the first person to pit. So, wonder if the others around him are going to respond after this lap. Skullface, who is under pressure from Catsby, has just got himself a little bit closer to Fingerhook here as well. He's managing to keep Catsby behind very nicely. And just keeping himself in contention with Fingerhook at the moment. TJ Stewart, meanwhile, a 10th or so behind Quaker Oak according to the times. Is this the moment where TJ Stewart can get past the Red Bull? Uses a little bit of VRS. Is he going to go for the inside? No, he's not close enough. But he might be able to get him here. He's got a much better exit. He'll have the inside line as well. Oh, and he's just had to cut the corner, maybe trying to give Quaker Oak a little bit more space. they needed to, and he's got himself another 3-second time penalty, and has also lost out on the position after getting onto the gravel, so not a very good couple of corners for him. As there's some of the front runners now deciding to pit. Skullface pitting, Raz pitting, Hatsby, Fingerhook, and our race leader still not deciding to pit, which is interesting. Meanwhile, TJL Shirt looks like is stayed out, and Quaker Otis decided to pit. So we just gather our thoughts a little bit. At the moment, it's the top 5 that you can currently see that have not pitted yet, as there's a yellow flags in sector 1. I'm not sure who it is exactly. Just Quaker Oats got himself at the back there, whether it's a very slow pit stop or something happened with him. But I don't know what's happened to Quaker Oat there. As Raz now picks himself up a 3-second time penalty now. Jonas, let's see if the race leader is now going to jump into the pits. Yes, he does. Fingerhook will decide to stay out, as will Catsby. So they feel like their intermediate tires are good enough, and they're going to try and stretch them so their second stint of intermediates are better for later on. So an interesting tactic. Meanwhile, TJ Shirt getting terrible runs out of there. I don't know whether he's got some front wing damage or whatnot, or we'll wait and see. We'll with his pit stop. But Skullface is going to jump Stewart in the pits, as is a couple more drivers. I want to see if TJ Stewart's got some. What's he done that for? No, he didn't have front wing damage. Just had some bad corners. Okay, that's fair. And Raz, ooh, just losing it on the curb there. Maybe just trying to get on the power a little bit too early. Trying to get after Skullface. It didn't work for him. And he's lost ground on the Mercedes driver now. Meanwhile, look, my bow. Trying to hold on to the position against Stewart. And he just manages to coming out of the pits. So the undercut didn't quite work for Stewart getting past look, my. But he has managed to jump Rob as the Renault driver. But my bow got a terrible run through that corner. TJ Shuttle was pushing him through pushing him through it there. But again, just like with our Quaker Oat for Stewart, not able to get past, even though he seemed close enough. And he's really hurting him in that third sector, being behind another car. Meanwhile, I was going to say Skullface set the fast lap, and Raz immediately beats that time, and it's a 1:29.5 for Raz. That is the fastest lap. So he's showing a bit of pace. As he tries to get after the lad that he's just took the fastest lap off, that is Skullface. Meanwhile, Gomez Janta beats that time by a couple of tenths, does with 1:29.2. As he continues his fight to get back towards the front. Meanwhile, we will jump on board with this battle for P4 at the moment. Raz and Skullface. Meanwhile, TJ should put himself up another 3-second time penalty, so gaining all these penalties is really going to hurt him. As there's yellow flags in sector 2, I don't know who it's for. It's been cleared away really quickly, so probably just somebody who's ran a bit wide, I think. But Catsby and Fingerhook both still not deciding to pit. They really are stretching this intermediate stint right out. And using every single fibre of those intermediate tyres. but Raz is gaining a little, gaining on Skullface, but not close enough on that particular occasion. It feels a little bit spread out now. Not too many battles happening on track at the moment. As the average gamer, that is Johnny, says the rain in Spain didn't stay mainly on the plane. No, it certainly didn't, lads. I hope you're well as well. As Rob looks like he's gotten past cheap skills to take P11. As we're on board with Yuri. Currently in P10. Trying to get after, well, say get after Gomez, but NJ Devil you can see just a couple, just a little bit further up the road there, so we might try and take both of them in a couple laps time. As the rain does not seem to be getting lighter anytime soon. We're on board with Gomez. You can see Yuri. He's gaining on him. Is he going to go for that inside line? No. Gomez comes right across to defend it very nicely. As now Junis sets the fastest lap with a 1:28.7. It looks like the race leader's got enough pace that I think it'll be very difficult for Catsby and Fingerhook if their plan is to jump Junis in the pit lane. I think it'll be very difficult. Meanwhile, Gomez Janta, we're going to just jump on board with because he's using all his ERS to try and get past NJ Devil. Is it enough though? I don't think it is. He's going to have to settle staying behind me. My Yuri, not close enough to get past Gomez either. But a great little battle between these three at the moment. Fighting for a few more points at the moment. As we almost approach the midpoint of the race. And Yuri is gaining, he seems closer this time, and again Gomez Janta, he knows what's coming and he's not having it. Dives straight for that inside line, and Yuri knows it as well. He knows he's going to have to be a lot closer than that if he's going to be able to dive for that inside and give Gomez Janta no option but to give him a bit of space. But, oh, Yuri, I don't know what's happened to him there. Maybe he just spun on one of the corners, but he's lost a load of ground on Gomez. And that is a shame, as TJ Short looked like Bo going wheel to wheel going into turn one here. This could be exciting. And the Renault TJ should just try to dive to the inside line, but end up cutting the corner instead. And the Mercedes goes through, but can TJ Short retake the position straight away here? TJ Stewart, whose race so far can be summed up with this exact picture, being stuck behind a car that he seems as though he could maybe get past, but nowhere really to overtake at the moment. As interestingly, Catsby now pits. Fingerhook stayed out again, so Junis is going to jump Catsby. Skullface coming on the start-finish straight, and Skullface is going to jump Catsby. And he takes P3. In fact, Catsby has been jumped by Raz as well. But his tyres are going to be fresher towards the end of the race. So maybe that will allow him to have a huge advantage on the couple of cars that just jumped him. And meanwhile, TJ Stewart and Look My Bell back in another battle in the start finish. We get a lovely aerial angle there overhead. It's terrific. It looks like the Mercedes is going to have the inside line. And Tijo Shirt is going to have to stay in behind for now, as he just lost a little bit at the back end there. And a great wee battle between these two at the moment. And crucially, both drivers keeping it very nice and clean as well. Hard but fair racing so far. But as we enter, we're on lap 17 at the moment, it still doesn't look like that rain is going to disappear, does it? As Fingerhook now decides to pit, our race leader does pit, so Junis is going to jump him 100%. And but by how many seconds is he going to come out ahead of Fingerhook? And interestingly, Skullface is going to get past him. He is. Skullface is now up into P2 now, but Raz manages to get out ahead of Catsby. So Raz just staying out that, no, not Raz, sorry. Fingerhook staying out that extra lap from Catsby hurts him even more, and he comes out behind his teammates. Meanwhile, TJ Shirt and Look My Bow on lap 18, they're not side by side on the start finish straight this time, and the Mercedes will hold on. As Gomez and J Devil just in behind them by a couple of tenths or so. We have a look at the penalty situation very quickly. TGL sure it's 12 seconds. Is really going to hurt him, let's be honest. That would actually put him to the back of the grid, actually, to be honest. He'll finish last at the, if it stays like this. He's got far too many penalties, as does Rob. Crucially, Raz also got himself a 3-second time penalty, but at the moment he would only drop down one position, as it stands, I believe, if my maths is correct. As Catsby sets the fast lap of the race of a 1:28.4, so he is coming, he's looking quick on those much fresher intermediate tyres. And now Yuri's put himself up a penalty, as TGL Shirt now is close enough to have a go at Look My Bow, but they're both side by side. He's just, the Merc again, he's just got enough to frustrate the Renault, and that is so good for sure. But it's fantastic defending as well from the Mercedes driver. Great battle between these two as he runs wide a little bit there. I wonder if he picked up a little warning there. I wonder how many warnings he's away from receiving a penalty himself. But it would take quite a few penalties for CJ Sure to jump him in the standings, to be fair. Meanwhile, we're going to jump on board with Raz and Catsby. Catsby close to Raz, and Raz close to Skullface. Quaker Oak crucially getting a 3-second time penalty as well. He's at the back at the moment, and Raz, oh my word! That is a very, very naughty pit stop, that from Raz. I don't know what happened there, but he's definitely turned in too late there. I wonder if they're sure to be interested in that one potentially. I don't know whether he got some damage or whatnot. As the Gel fan sector 2 and 3, and Quaker Oak looks like he's going slow, and it's just not been his race at all, has it? He definitely lost a bit of his front wing, and I wonder if he's going to retire now, as Gomez Jansa jumps NJ Devil in the pits. So with 13 laps to go, I'm wondering if the likes of Skullface, Look My Bow, all the ones that are on 8 or 9 old intermediate tyres, can they get to the end? Can they do the 22 laps on the intermediates to last to the end? I'm not 100% sure. This is where the likes of Raz and Fingerhook and Catsby, who extended their first intermediate stint, could really get an advantage. Even our race leader Junis, who's got a 6.8 second gap to second place Skullface, might be in that predicament as well. But Catsby's definitely gaining on the Mercedes, on those much fresher intermediates, as Yuri's got himself a 5-second time hand for speeding in the pit lane, not the first person today to get caught out speeding, and they'll be stationary for 5 seconds before he can come out again. That's going to put him way to the back. So if we try and do a little bit of maths, I'm not the best, but we will try. If Junis pits in a couple laps and keeps the same distance, he would come out P4 as it stands. And if he did that, I'm sure Skullface would come in as well, maybe. So then it would only be Catsby and Fingerhook that he would have to try and catch up and get past, but he would be on fresher intermediates. This is very, this race has gotten very interesting all of a sudden. As Raz sets the fastest lap in the Williams of a 1:27.9. Meanwhile, Rob now deciding to pit. But Catsby is captured, so I can't see how Skullface and Junis don't pit again. They're going to have to, I think. Just going to jump on board with our race leader for now, because I'm interested to see if he's going to jump in the pit or he's going to extend it. He's going to stay out for now. Should have picked up another penalty, not like he needed another one. Skullface staying out as well. And meanwhile, yellow flags in sector 1 and 2, and it's a racing point, and I think is it Yuri? No, it's Rob actually who's had problems there. Meanwhile, TJ Stewart opting to pit now as well. At P6, so he's definitely going to lose a few places, although Cheap Skills pitting as well. And with all these pit stops, it's going to bring the likes of Look My Bow, NJ Devil, even Gomez Jansa, potentially into play for some of the higher point positions. There you go, Look My Bow's up to P7 now, NJ Devil, Gomez, they'll promote themselves up a position or two. Because of TJ Shirt and Cheap Skills having to pit, as Catsby's very close to Skullface now. Had to really get on the brakes to avoid going into the back of the mark. And Fingerhook just keeping an eye on this battle at the moment as well, with licked lips, waiting for his moment potentially. And Skullface does decide to pit now, and that's going to free up Catsby and Fingerhook. Catsby and Fingerhook. Crucially, Junis stays out for another lap at least. But Skullface coming out the pits now. Raz just coming on to start finish straight. Is he going to be able to jump Skullface? I think he might. And he will. Skullface comes out P5 after that pit stop. With my NJ Devil. Trying to get after Look My Bow here. Got a very good exit. But he doesn't have, they both don't really have a lot of ERS to play with. But NJ Devil's going to go for the move here on the inside. Is he going to be able to make it stick? The Mercedes will have the inside line. And he can't hold on to the position for now. Look My Bow stays P6. And that might have brought Gomez a bit closer to these two. And with them two now battling. It's been a very good race so far. We've seen some very good battles and whatnot, and we've seen a lot of interesting things happen because of the rain. As it looks like the racing point's in the wall again, and I wonder if it's permanently this time. Is Rob? No, he's not. He's got the car going again, so maybe it wasn't him. More yellow flags in sector 1 and 2. Yeah, it's definitely the racing point of Rob. He's certainly struggling. I wonder if he's got some front wing damage or something. Meanwhile, we're going to jump on board with NJ Devil. Who, Look My Bow, just got a little bit restless getting onto start finish straight. And will that allow NJ Devil an opportunity to overtake him? I don't think so. He's not close enough. So we've got 8 laps to go, guys, of this SRL Tier 3 Spanish Grand Prix. And so far, the Alfa Romeo of Jonas is leading the race. However, he's probably going to have to, well, I don't know whether he's just going to just keep out there and just hope to goodness that the tyres hold on, just try and hold on to track position. Excuse me. But Catsby is gaining on Jonas by, I don't know, half a second, couple of tenths or so, every lap. So it looks like he is catching him fast. Meanwhile, NJ Devil and Gomez having a little scrap. Something's happened between them. Gomez has got past the Ferrari now. Oh, and he's just gone into the back of him. Wasn't expecting Gomez to break in that particular part of the track, and I wonder, did he get a little bit of front wing damage there? I'm not sure. He's got himself a 3-second time penalty as well, NJ Devil. We'll have a look at the penalty situation very quickly. CJL shirt on 15 seconds. Definitely more than anyone by quite a bit. Raz currently in P4 has 3 seconds, so Skullface will know that, and he'll certainly be hunting him down to take P4 at the moment. And I would try and calculate all the others, but I'm not very good at maths. And racing point of Rob once again is off the track in sector 3 this time. I don't know what he's doing. I think he's going to jump into the pits by looks of things, as Catsby took off another second off of Jonas, and he is catching him. So Gomez Jansa, after getting past NJ Devil, is now trying to get past the Mercedes of Look My Bow, who's defended really well in this race. To when anyone's up close enough to get past him. Let's see if he can do it again against the Alpha Tauri of Gomez Jansa, but he's not close enough on this particular occasion. And he doesn't have any ERS actually either to really attack with. Martial sure does a purple sector 1. I wonder if he's going for the fastest lap of the race. Being behind NJ Devil will certainly hurt his attempt at doing just that, if that is what he's doing, or if he is just fast. NJ Devil defending very nicely to the inside line, not allowing Stuart any room to potentially try and go for a lunge. Meanwhile, out in front, the gap between Catesby and Junis is almost less than a second. It's just about a second actually. Junis's intermediates must be screaming now, and he can see Catesby in his rear view mirror. He knows he's coming. He knows how quick he's been getting caught by the Hash driver as well. They've both got similar levels of ERS as well, by the looks of things. As it's more outside the sector 2. Anyway, we're interested in this one. Catesby has got a very nice run. ERS is open. Junis will try and defend for his life. Catesby just done the fastest lap of the race as well with that 137.5. Is Catesby going to go for the inside line? He's not. But he's showing how close and how much better his tyres are to Junis. I'm just going to jump away from this battle very quickly because it looks like CJ Schutt's going to get past NJ Devil. He's going to try and go on the outside here. They're still side by side, both giving each other enough room. It's close wheel to wheel racing this, which you love to see. And looks like the racing point of Yuri is trying to get involved, but he's just lost it in the background. And NJ Devil is going to hold on to the position. Meanwhile, we're going to jump away from this battle and get back to the one for the lead of the race between Catesby and Junis. Junis, who got the pole position in qualifying, has led the race for pretty much quite a lot of it. But it looks like all that good work is going to be undone by maybe not running his first stint of intermediate tyres long enough, and Catesby may have caught him out with the strategy on that front. And Catesby's going to have another go here. Junis is going to get the RS open as well. I don't think Catesby, I think he knows he's not going to catch him yet. But he is getting closer and closer as Rob comes out of the pits and stays well out of the way of this current battle. Meanwhile, Gomez Jansa still trying to get past Look My Bow. As Look My Bow did not get a good exit at all there. Gomez Jansa did. And now this might be the moment that the Alpha Tauri can get past. Not a lot of ERS. Like still though. Not a lot of laps really though to charge it up, to be honest. And that means Gomez just can't get past. So we're going to leave that battle. And jump back on board with Catesby and Junis. Caspi didn't have a great run out of that corner, he just had just a little bit slower than Junis. But because there's been no penalties, Caspi will have to overtake him on track if he is to win this race as it stands. As Yuri retires from the session, becomes our second retirement. I think he's retired in the pits, so fair play. With 2 laps to go. This is going to be one hell of a defend from Jonas if he's going to hold on. And Caspi, you can see how much grip he's got on his tyres that are 5 laps fresher. But again, it looks like he's just catching the Alfa Romeo. He's getting too close to him in the wrong parts of the track. We get a nice rear view of Jonas as Caspi's having he's just having a little look, trying to feint, trying to make Jonas defend unnecessarily strong. And Jonas ran wide out of the final corner, and now Caspi will pounce. They're going to go side by side on the start finish. We're going to stay on board with Caspi. It's a good view, but I think Jonas is just going to hold on with the same amount of ERS for both drivers. In fact, Jonas has got a little bit, quite a bit more actually than Caspi, and maybe that is why the Haas driver just can't get past. But now Catsby with the grip advantage. They're side by side. Catsby's definitely making his move here. And that is the lead of the race for the Haas driver. Brilliant move. And it is an incredible battle, as Lars says. Fair play to both of these drivers. And Catsby was biding his time really well. And eventually it got to a point where he had so much grip, he was just able to fly past the Alfa Romeo driver and take the lead of this race. What a battle between these two that we have been treated to this evening, ladies and gentlemen. And as we enter the final lap of the race, Catsby's already pulled out a second to Jonas as well. Meanwhile, due to penalties, I'm trying to think if anybody's going to, gain anything. I don't think so inside the top points. But it's been an absolute pleasure to commentate this race for you all. It's been a fantastic race, some very good battles. But I think the one between Catsby and Jonas for the last 5 or 10 laps or so has been absolutely superb. And Catsby, you've got to give him credit. He worked the strategy well. He decided that he was going to go long on the first stint along with Fingerhook and Raz, and all 3 of them are going to get good results today. And Catsby is going to take the win of this race, and fully deserved. How close is Gomez? Yanta to look my bow. He's going to get him on penalty for the first cheap skills to go past NJ Devil. We'll have a look at that battle in a second, but I want to stay on board with Catsby, who's actually catching a back marker now as well, which is I think TJ Stewart actually. Your predictions weren't bad at all, Lars lad. But Catsby comes across the line to take the Spanish Grand Prix. Jonas comes across the line to take P2. We're going to jump on board with the battle between Gomez, Janser and Look My Bow. Gomez is going to jump on penalties, but can he get him on track as Fingerhook takes P3? I think Gomez is a little bit too far behind to make a move happen on track. So we're going to jump on board with the next person to come across line. That is Skullface, who is going to get P5 in this race. Meanwhile, his teammate, look, my bow is going to drop a position at least to Gomez Yanta. Is he on 3 seconds of penalties? Yeah, he is, so I don't think he's not going to drop any further. I don't think so. He comes across the line, but Gomez does jump him, as I said. Meanwhile, Chief Skills will take P8, and J Devil takes P9, and Mr. Penalty, TGL Stewart, is actually, looks like he's going to actually get a point despite all these penalties. But how many penalties is he on? 18 seconds. Mental. I wonder if he's actually got some front wing damage because he's going very, very slow. And that is the end of your race here in Tier 3, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed. Driver Day has been given to NJ Devil, but I think it's very obvious who I'm going to give it to. I'm going to give it to Junis, because although I could have given it to Fingerhook, I could have given it to Raz, one of the other drivers that played the strategy really, really well. Junis still was very, very strong, got pole position, and only just lost out in the last lap or two of the race, and he still took P2. So Junis is going to be my driver of the day, but a very big congratulations to Catsby, a very impressive drive, and he takes the win of the race. And he also gets fastest lap as well, so that's going to be another little point for Catsby in the driver's standings. So congratulations to him, as I'm getting a lot of notifications because I've got another race to commentate in about 5 minutes time. So that is the end of this race for Tier 3. Do stay tuned, because in a couple of minutes we will be starting our commentary of Tier 1, so look forward to that. But until then, guys, if you're not joining us, have a lovely rest of your evening or whatever time it is where you are, and I will catch you all later on. Take care.